Good evening, people. I'm filming this at night time as usual, and it's light. We've had gale force winds here. Windy as hell, bit of rain, but we're not here for a weather forecast, are we? We've got to jump straight into this before the light fades, and we have nothing to work with. All right, kick off the week with the Cowboys, John Wayne, cattle drive, moving all these cows, which is a phenomenal thing to do, move all these cows from one place to another. But they do it, but all of his help buggers off to go look for gold downstream, round the corner. They leave him, so he has to turn to them, literally cowboys. Teach them, learn them, go on a big adventure. And I have always liked it and continue to like it to this day. 1972, a 7 out of 10. Then a film that I thought I'd seen before, a lot going on in this, called The Big Country from 1958. I'm sure a bit of this was on TV sometime recently, and I caught a bit of it, but a lot going on here. Gregory Peck and Charlton Heston, almost near enough a 3-hour film. It was quite long, but very, very good. A first time watch, I give it a 7 out of 10. Then another film I thought I'd seen called The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. One of these Ray Harryhausen films where the special effects were special for the time. I have no problem with how they look, but this girl gets shrunk, so they've got to go and find the stuff to make her big. They've got to fight a giant bird, they fight a cyclops, you've got a dragon, all these great Ray Harryhausen special effects, and it's quite something to watch. 1958, a 6 out of 10. Then this one, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart's a lawman, Lee Marvin, I think. I was going to say Hank Marvin, but Lee Marvin as Liberty Valance. He's a bad guy, a tough guy. Jimmy Stewart doesn't want anything to do with guns, but he might have to. An excellent Western that I give an 8 out of 10 to. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, or The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Very good. Then another film, Joe Kidd. Not one of my favourite Clint Eastwood films. It's not one of my favourite Clint Eastwood westerns. Eastwood's Joe Kidd. He's in jail, gets his bail, whatever it is. He can either spend time in jail or go and track down a guy called Louis Chalmer. And if he stays in jail, you have no film, so you know what he does. And that's what the film's about. I give it a 7 from 1972. Probably my least favourite Eastwood Western, if you don't count Paint Your Wagon as a Western. If you count it as a Western, that's my least favourite. But I don't dislike it. I could watch it again easily. Then from 1981, Hell Night. 4 college pledges, all about those fraternity houses. I've never understood them. 4 college pledges forced to spend a night in a deserted mansion where a family died and there was murders and people hung many, many years ago. You've got the other kids, or the other college kids, they play pranks on them, but there's also a giant, creepy, deformed monster out there killing everyone. And it felt like a slasher, which it is. It felt like a slasher, but in a haunted house. And I didn't dislike it. I give it a 6. Nothing amazing, but maybe the haunted house aspect of it made it slightly, how can I say, more enjoyable than a usual slasher. Because it is. This guy goes around slitting throats and snapping necks and stuff like that. So, yeah. Then a film I've heard about for many, many years but never watched it, and I finally did, first time watch, called Sexy Beast. This has Ray Winston. Ray Winston is a retired gangster, lives in Spain, loves his life. Then this other gangster comes along, slightly strange, maybe a bit mad, maybe a bit of a psycho, Ben Kingsley, and pulls him back to do one last job. It's not an action-packed film. There's no action even in it. You don't see the job until the last maybe 30 minutes, but it's well acted, if nothing else. And there wasn't really much else in it for me. Even when you saw the job, it wasn't overly exciting. But that's from 2000, and I give it a 5. Not crazy over it. Then, Two Rode Together, a film that's been in the plastic, sitting on the shelf for a good few years. Thought I'd seen it before, haven't. Richard Widmark and Jimmy Stewart playing against type. Here we go. Jimmy Stewart is Marshal Guthrie McCabe, a cynical and immoral US Marshal assigned to trade guns with the fearsome Comanche in exchange for hostages, with the promise of a large reward if he is successful. McCabe and his old friend Lieutenant Jim Gary, Richard Widmark, set out to track down the Comanche and their captives, with tragic consequences for all involved. Hadn't seen it before, very much enjoyed it. A John Ford film, I think John Ford and Jimmy Stewart's first film together. I gave it, it's from 1961, and I gave it a 7. The more I see Richard Widmark, the more I like him. So there's that one. And we end with a almost 3-hour epic, which starts off like 1830s. We go all the way through to the 1880s. You see the Civil War. You get to see the first railroad put in and everything in between. It is, of course, how the West was won. Lots of people are in this. Lots of people in different segments pop up here and there. But it's a very good film. There's some of the people right there. It's filmed in Cinerama. It says there, the front Cinerama, and there's 2 discs, and it shows a picture of what it would look like. You've got the widescreen, which you can tell it's curved. Then on this it has that, the smile box, which is, it's for a curved screen. When you watch it, you can see when they walk past, it sort of goes like that. It's not off-putting because I've seen it many times, but the first time I saw it, I thought, what's going on with this? Why does this look like it looks like? But yeah, imagine sitting with a massive curved screen in a cinema and watching how the West was won. Watching them from the very beginning on the river all the way to the end. And you got bandits robbing the trains and all that kind of stuff. It's a vast epic. I give it a 7 out of 10. But that's it. That's everything that I watched this week. And I'm going for a glass of wine. I'll see you next week.